identity wise, earlier you said this during our conversation, you were like, I'm Nicole, the dancer, right? You probably don't introduce yourself as such anymore.
No.
Did you struggle with identity loss after you stopped competing as a dancer? Was that tough for you?
It was, yeah. Especially it was during COVID around that time. I think everyone was struggling. But yeah, not having dance, like I said, that's what fills my cup. That's what helps me mentally too. If I'm having a shitty day and I go take a dance class, it's all good. I forget about all of it.
You just forget. It just like flies away, just floats away.
Yep.
You enter like a flow state, would you say, when you're dancing? Like you just kind of, everything else just doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just happy.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think it is kind of an identity crisis with that. You aren't like labeled a dancer, and like I still want to consider myself one. My Instagram page, I'll like post, throwbacks of dance, and I'm like, oh, so nostalgic. Like I miss that. I wish I had that now. And yeah, I think it is a little bit of an identity thing that I would have to move past, or I think I have. And also, like, I used to identify with my work too as like, oh, I'm a coach or I'm a personal trainer. And I had a friend tell me, like, you shouldn't identify with your work. I'm like, yeah, that's true. So I kind of remember that. And I'm like, okay, there's so much more to me than like dance and work. Like, who am I as a person? So, yeah, I think that everyone should ask themselves that. And it's like you see professional athletes, like if they get injured, that's really hard. And they probably have like major identity crisis after that. But they need to figure out who they are along the way. And maybe that's something that should be established at a young age. Like you are not just your sport or your hobby. Like who are you as a person?
Yeah, that's definitely something that I try to advise as a mental performance coach is working with athletes on their identity, right? Because everybody's career as an athlete comes to an end at some point, whether it's after high school, whether it's after college, whether they have a professional career, whether they retire because of an injury, whether they retire for whatever reason. Everybody retires as an athlete eventually.
Yeah.
And so to your point, like helping those athletes realize that they are more than an athlete. And I think a lot of that has to do with, in previous episodes of the podcast, I've talked about this with a lot of people about their identity as they've retired from being an athlete. And maybe you can speak to this. It helps to find a way to channel that energy and that passion and that identity into something else. Because in order to succeed at the highest level, or really of any level, but at the highest level of athletics, you need like a fire and a desire and a passion. And a lot of times like 110% of your day, you're spending hours and hours and hours competing. Your schedule is structured around competing. Your sleep, your eating, your school, everything is structured around being an athlete.
Yeah.
So when you retire, you need to find a way to fill that bucket, like you were saying earlier, but then also to channel that energy.